Good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is James Haken. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at MAPAL Group, and I'm really delighted to be able to host this session, calling it Meet MAPAL, keeping it nice and simple. And the aim of the session really is that within these summer weeks, we really felt there was an opportunity for us to just give a general update as to who we are as a business, where we're heading, some of what we've done recently, and just tell and share with you a little bit more about the company as a whole. I think for those of you that know the group, you will understand that we've been through a huge transition over the past year or so, and since the inception of the group as it is now in September 2019, things have moved really quickly. So I know that a number of you are working with our current within our current customer base, and we've got a number of people here who have previously spoken to us, and just really an opportunity for us to say hello, touch base, answer any questions. I've got a presentation to share with you about our journey and where we're going. But the first thing I'd ask is it would be great to understand who's here, who's listening and tuning in. So if you maybe are able to comment with who you are, where you're from, it'll be give me a good opportunity to understand who's joining us. I know that we've got a number of people from looking at some of the registrations that came in from here in the UK. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm based in Perthshire in Scotland. So I'm sitting here at the moment with beautiful views of the countryside with a very glorious weather today. And I know we've got a number of people here from the Middle East particularly, and also some of our colleagues in the Nordics. So feel free to jump in and let us know who you are. There's a couple of people coming through there already. So David from Dubai. Hi, David. Lester from HIT, really great partner of ours within the Flow Learning business. So thank you for posting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, talk to you a little bit about who we are, where we're going, and if there's any questions along the way, feel free to comment, and I will absolutely try my best to answer as best I can. So we are showing the screen now, and the first thing to note, I think, as I was saying before, is that MAPAL Software as an organization has been around for around 13 years or so, but within the last since September 2019, with a big acquisition from a company called PSG, Providence Strategic Growth, we've really developed a lot through mergers and acquisitions, and actually we're really proud to be one of Europe's most prominent hospitality tech businesses, bringing together really great applications and teams from all across Europe into our organization. So the really interesting thing for us, and for those of you that know me, and I know there are a lot of people on here that know me, you know that I'm a hospitality guy. That's what I do. It's what I grew up in, hospitality, and absolutely hospitality. The same can be said for huge numbers of the people in our organization, and perhaps most importantly, our CEO Jorge Lorena, who's based in Madrid. He was he too grew up in the sector. His family were the second largest franchisee of Burger King in Iberia, and he's fundamentally operated restaurants for over 30 years and is still operating restaurants today. Within the process, and when I talk to you a little bit about our journey, one thing that you'll absolutely really stands out is the people who we brought along the way as CEOs and senior leaders from the other companies that joined and merged with us have very similar backgrounds. It's part of why we brought these people in particular together. Of course, when we're on the acquisition trail and we're looking to find things, first of all, we're looking for great products that people love, that are really best in class and do what they need to do. Secondly, it's that they're really well suited to multi-site operators, and that's the key for us. We are multi-site operator focused. And the third one is that they have the same values and belief system as us. And a big part of that is this absolute passion for hospitality. I think that, as I said before, MAPAL Group itself has been in play for about 13 years, originally as MAPAL Software, and moving over. And our real point of difference is that, look, we really do combine industry experts with data scientists and software developers. And I think that I'm very, very lucky to work with an incredible bunch of people across our organization. And we've particularly got a very, very strong senior executive team. And I think that hopefully you'll see that within the interactions you already have within our business, as we really do have people that care. I think the really interesting part for me around the data science piece is that, look, there's lots of tech businesses, and I've worked with lots of them as an operator and as a consultant, but lots of tech businesses that are really great at solving a problem, but haven't necessarily got the depth to the tools. And that's what we're really trying to focus on here, is trying to build a huge depth to our tools. And Ika, who's our chief data officer, based in Spain, has got a brilliant team of optimization and data scientists working with him, and really focused on doing the things that make a big difference in the back end, rather than just creating tools and new features. So we're really investing heavily in that part of our business. The other thing that I would also say is that by hospitality for hospitality is very easy to say, but we work very closely with our customer base, and we have really spent a lot of time and energy building a product team of people that are working closely from within testing within our customer base, and also listening a lot to you, the people that are end users or potential end users of our solution and solutions, to try and make sure that we're really listening and building what it is you need, because ultimately that's what will make us successful, is you being successful also. And the other part about hospitality is that we really are only for hospitality. There's lots of other players, and actually I can't think of another major player that at the size we are in the European market that doesn't work with other sectors. Like, for the majority, they are working with retailers and other service industries. We don't. We're absolutely focused on hospitality, and I think that that's really important to us, because it means that we double down, and everything we do is for our sector. So why do we exist? And I think we like many businesses where you've got a big growth. I mean, we grew from around 70 or 80 people in 2019 to over 200, nearer 250 today. I mean, it's been an extraordinary growth, and with that, we've had to really kind of review who we are, what we're doing, as you would expect. And I think that we really recognize that our purpose is about empowering hospitality people to do more of what they love even better. What does that really mean? Well, what it means is, look, we are an empowerer. We've got to realize that technology is not the answer. Technology is an enabler. And I think that that's how we see what we do. You know, people are at the forefront of our sector, and it's if it isn't for the people, it's not hospitality, frankly. So our job is to help them do even better. But I think that what's really interesting to me is, look, I joined this sector not because I wanted to sit behind a laptop. And frankly, most of the people who work in our sector have the same view, tend to be people who are very hands-on, very practical, and very pragmatic, and want to get things done. And for us, it's about how do we remove those layers of administration so that they can get on with doing the things that actually they really love to begin with: engaging with customers, building great teams, delivering fantastic service and products, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. The mission for us is very simple. So it's to improve the performance of hospitality brands and people through intuitive technology solutions. So it does what it says on the tin. And our vision is very bold. It's to become the world's leading hospitality operating system, delivering game-changing innovation to streamline and automate processes through both our owned and also solutions that we partner. And that's really important to us, is that we know that we can't exist on our own in this universe in terms of hospitality technology, and we have to collaborate and work with other partners, and we do that very well. And some of those are very formal partnerships, others are more about integrations and so on. But we're very open, and it's a big part of what we believe is that we want to be open and connect where we need to connect to enable you as our customers to be the best you can be. Of course, that's not always easy because the other side of the conversation might be that whoever we're trying to connect with may not want to connect, even though you as a customer want them to. That happens time to time. And I think the other one is that, of course, there are workload implications. And so we absolutely have a view that we are open to doing that and we want to do it and we want to follow through on it. But of course, it does sometimes come with timescales and from both sides. So it's worthwhile noting that. So if I pinpoint where our growth has come from in terms of these acquisitions, as I said, Providence Strategic Growth is our growth partner. They were a US PE firm, and they were opened an office in the UK servicing Europe. Huge entity, 45 billion in capital commitments. And within our organization, they originally acquired Mapal software to be what we would call the lead vehicle. So the organization that they would be able to bring more and merge more in with under the guardianship and leadership of Jorge, our CEO, and the original board. And of course, people like myself and others have been brought in to strengthen that global and also regional leadership teams as we move forward. So the first partnership after that acquisition was an organization called Cooking Data, and we partnered and took a number of their key team across into our organization, and that really is restaurant BI and analytics focused. In December 19, and perhaps most relevant for a lot of you on the call, there was an acquisition and the subsequent merger with Flow Learning. June 20, we brought in a business called Cloud Reputation. That's a restaurant reputation solution. And this year we've been particularly busy with two big acquisitions. One of an organization called Get Compliant, which is based in Sweden, and another called EasyLease, which is based in France. And Get Compliant is an operational and compliance checklist and management tool. And EasyLease is doing procurement, F&B, waste management, and that whole space. So our view is very much to come together with an integrated solution that really helps end to end. But of course, we also realize that we can't do everything, and that's where these partnerships come in and are particularly important. So I wrote this slide yesterday, actually, because I felt like it was the missing part of my presentation. But I think what's really important is that, look, we are big enough to matter. I think that because we've got, and we'll come on to this, but over 45,000 sites using our technology around the world, and that's in over 50, I think it's 54 countries right now. It means that, look, there is a degree of pressure when it comes to when it means that we need to integrate with others and being able to support big global companies, and we do support some of the biggest and best hospitality operators in the world, we can absolutely deliver. But I think the way we're structured and the organization as a whole is that we're very focused on trying to retain that premise of being small and entrepreneurial enough to care and to frankly deliver and not feel like you're working as a number within a big machine. I mean, that's absolutely not where we want to be. And I think we work on that principle of that. I think that from memory, I think it's Elon Musk is actually, it might be Jeff Bezos, is the whole pizza principle of teams should be able to share 2 pizzas, and if it gets above and beyond that, then the team is too big. And I think we're spending a lot of time making sure that we don't get torn up and strawn up in a lot of process and so on, and that we put customers in what they need first. So how do we do this? Well, we do this by, first of all, making sure that our product and technology teams are completely working in their original locations and are fundamentally independent in the way that they work. So what that means is that if you bought into Flow Learning, that we have a team of product and technology people that are still wholeheartedly focused on Flow Learning. And the reason that we think this is really important is that ultimately you're buying into that tool at the moment. You may not be buying into any other tools. So what you really care about as a user is that we continue to develop Flow Learning, for instance. So by having these focused teams, and don't get me wrong, we've invested heavily in these individual teams. I mean, Flow's a great example that we've seen an overall increase in the number of people in product and technology, as well as being able to bring third parties in to help us on developments. So it means that, frankly, we're moving a lot faster with a lot more resource than we've ever done before. but it means that they're not going to be distracted, and we're absolutely committed for each and every tool that we carry on delivering for you on those tools. The second thing is that customer success and business development teams work regionally. So you can make sure you will continue to have a close local relationship with someone. So that means that we have a UK-based customer success and a UK-based business development team, and they're focused really on delivering for the UK. We've also got people supporting in the Middle East now, for those of you that are joining from the Middle East. But it's really important to us that you still have local contact and that you're not kind of being sent off globally to someone else. But where that differs slightly is that we are also in a position, and again, there's not many people that can say this, that because we have people based all over Europe and also in Latin America, that we can deal with time zone issues, and we can also deal with cross-border based companies. So if you are a business that's looking to grow internationally, we're able to support that journey as well. Ultimately, beyond all of that, we really want one global vision. That's what we're talking to you here about, with brilliant teams based all over the world, who ultimately are given the scope to act, to do what needs to be done for you, the customer or a potential customer. And as I said before, a passion for hospitality absolutely unites us. I mean, the image on the right-hand side, given that I don't climb mountains very often, I thought that I needed to put a mountain image in from this weekend. The team based in Edinburgh headed up a Munro here in Scotland to raise funds for Only a Pavement Away in Springboard. And we're absolutely delighted that we raised 10,000 euros around the world for our partners, our charity partners. And again, like really focused on delivering for hospitality. So I've said already that we power the biggest and best operators. And when I say that, we really mean that. I mean, we're very, very privileged to work with so many incredible players. And look, we don't say this to be bragging. What we say, why we say this is because we believe wholeheartedly, by working with the biggest and best operators, it ultimately means that we're working and partnering with these people to make sure our tools are the best they can be. I mean, there are lots of people who constantly expect and want to deliver new features and change, and means that we spend a lot of time working with them to understand what that means, and then more importantly, how that works within a multi-site business, and also very complex multi-site businesses. So you should recognize the number of those players. And we, as I said before, we're dealing with hundreds of brands. I mean, I think that on last count, we were almost 2,000 brands that we work with. So in one way or another, between all of our technologies, we touch a huge number of people within our broader sector around the world. And again, just a reminder, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to drop it here in the chat. So 54 countries we're deployed in. You can see our office bases across Europe, also Miami, and we're soon to be opening a more formal office location in Mexico too, to be managing the Latin American market. So in terms of our product vision, we absolutely believe that there's a real challenge, and we really do believe in best-in-class solutions, and that's why we've bought a number of best-in-class solutions. But we also believe that the challenge with doing that, and I mean, we did a survey recently, and average hospitality technology business had 16 technology solutions they were subscribing to. Within those 16 solutions, it means that teams have to be trained on all these different solutions. It's a challenge to deploy them. Ultimately, there's multiple and complex integrations, which again, if you don't have the kind of large customer base and you're working with smaller players, often that can become a challenge because they're quite often blocked by other technology businesses from doing those integrations to ultimately make your life simpler. There's also a big challenge when you're talking about a small business. It's hard enough. I mean, I still own and operate hospitality businesses. I know that it's a challenge with the turnover we've got, that people are able to pick up, even set up 1 or 2 new users a month is a challenge, let alone large multi-site businesses with different regions all over the world. I mean, that whole user access level and setups is really important. And I think that within our kind of broader vision and the Mapal OS vision, which is about bringing together these different solutions and providing one central place for that to work, but within an operating system model rather than this mammoth single solution, we're really trying to overcome these challenges. Next up is this need to centralize business data. I mean, I've sat there and at working regional managers in hospitality businesses, and they spend 2 or 3 hours before they go and meet a GM just to get the information they need together from different tools. I've also worked in businesses where we've had analytics tools, and frankly, they just don't work. So for us, it's really important that that's a big part of how we move forward and we integrate all this data together. And the last big challenge that we're trying to overcome is that ultimately on-site managers do not want to be bogged down with very time-consuming and inefficient manual processes. And I think secondary to that, there's also the problem at head office of multiple data input to the same information, and we see this all the time too. So this is what we're really trying to overcome. This is a journey, though, to be clear. This is our vision. We're quite far down the route of what we call the Mapal OS project, which is about the operating system and creating a fundamental middleware that means that we can deliver on this for our clients. And I think that our customers, by the end of this year, early next year, will start to see real movement in terms of being able to do that, and hopefully it will open up the world for you to think about more of our products and using, if not the whole solution, multiple different applications and products within it. And so if we look at the overarching model, ultimately we believe that our solutions are very powerful alone. I mean, you all bought into them already, and it's because you believe that they're powerful enough as they are. But we also believe that ultimately we can be better together, and that's really the sentiment that we have here. So we're building this system integration layer, which is about bringing all of the things that we just talked about together, and then delivering on a number of systems applications. So analytics, again, to make sure that you can pull all data and cross-reference data and save your own requirements, because I think I've worked with enough finance directors and ops directors and MDs within my time to know that everyone's got a slight nuance of how they want that data positioned. So to give you that in your hands. Next is Teams, which is around bringing people, the end user, together in one place. So it means that the frontline team members will have one place to go for their workforce and learning and so on. We also, of course, means that you can configure everything yourself in one place and make changes to your site structures and so on and so forth, which means that it will be simple to do that rather than doing it across every different solution. And then our main product applications, we've got Flow Learning, which a number of you will know. It's one of the leading learning management solutions for hospitality in the world. We've got incredible content. We've got Workforce, which is a workforce management solution. It's all with scheduling and a really, really clever tool around productivity optimization, which I'll come on to. We've got the Easy Lease platform, which is, again, is food and beverage recipe management and control, inventory, stock, that whole world of back of house. The compliance tool, which has been built and developed from Get Compliant, which allows you to ensure your tasks are completed and monitored and checked and ultimately reported on effectively. They've got a brilliant facilities tool, a reputation tool, which will help you with guest sentiment. And then docs and cash recs are really add-ons that allow for kind of simple things to be used within the overall structure. Our first partner that we've already started working with is Hasty to do pay on demand from our workforce application, and we've got lots more to announce coming up soon. So to deep dive into each of them, I think that the workforce management one is the solution that Mapal software originally had in place. So the workforce management solution, I'm sure many of you use, if not all of you, use scheduling and workforce management already. So some of the things that make our tool different, because that's what is probably really important, is that we've got document generation, e-signing in place, and a lot of others I know don't. We've got really interesting flash questions and survey solution built within it, so you can understand the sentiment of your team over a period of time. And I think perhaps most importantly, we are completely agnostic in terms of payroll. We're aware that a lot of the competitors, particularly in the UK market, are folded into payroll, and it doesn't make sense to be running it separately. We also know that that's really difficult when people work in different regions. And we also know there's a number of players that we'd speak to every day that would much prefer their payroll to be with their accounting business or something that they're running, which means that, but what our workforce management tool does is get it to a point where it's ready to pay at payroll, because all the calculations are done within this tool in multiple countries. And that's why we see that we're used very heavily across many different countries using this technology, because it means that we can work really effectively with multi-country, multi-site operators. The other really cool thing that we've built is a really nice fingerprint and QR smart hub, which means that you can engage with people when they come into work in a different way, rather than it just being about clocking in, clocking out. The real icing on the cake for this solution, though, for workforce is the reason that I was bowled over when I came here was that, look, a lot of people talk about auto scheduling, and we've gone well above and beyond that. Ika and his team have spent a huge amount of time creating internally what we call the ASTE model. And the ASTE model is fundamentally a labor optimization model. It takes your information based off your deployment models, your team availability, and also their preferences. And given the world we're living in right now around the whole challenge of getting and recruiting hospitality team, starting to be able to offer shifts based on preferences rather than just required time off or book time off starts to really change the game. So it does all of that. It also allows you to, if you're working in other countries that have got more unionized workforces, we can put in collective bargaining agreements. It can all absolutely be layered in the bottom in terms of lots of different controls and restrictions. And ultimately what it creates is a unique exact optimization algorithm, and it delivers you, out of thousands of options of what those shifts could be, the very best solution for that particular or given week. And we see that, I mean, these are some average numbers that we see out of the tool. I mean, and this is absolutely delivering financial returns for lots of people, including those in the UK. We see net sale increase because we've got the right people on the right shift at the right time to deal with sales volume. We see a massive increase in productivity, so spend per labor hour. And we also see a direct reduction in cost of labor, as you would expect. I mean, this absolutely works. And I think that for us, this is the game changer, and really delighted also to be able to say that we're doing a lot of updates on this tool. So within the next 6 months or so, you're going to see a new scheduler, so a new and improved scheduler. The team are just working on the ASTE 2 model. So I told you what that ASTE model is. We're working on ASTE 2, which is productivity optimization, but the next version. Also creating a shift pickup, a shift finder solution, and that's going to be launched within here. So on the right-hand side, it's showing pay on demand with Hasty, and also nifty tool, which again, I'm not seeing many other people delivering, which is multi-unit employee scheduling. So that means that if I'm, say, in a hotel or an airport and I've got 40 or 50 employees that work across 3 or 4 sites, I can schedule them in one go across multiple sites, so multi-unit employees. It's very cool indeed. The next one I'm going to pick up is flow learning. So many of you will know this, being in the UK and being existing customers of ours, and we really do deliver on learning, engagement, and talent and development. And I think that to date, a lot of people in hospitality have used learning management about being compliance focused. And what we're really working on is moving it to the next level. So it's about really helping people to progress in their careers. It's helping you to nail that first 100 days. It's really helping you to engage with teams and keep them and ultimately ensure that their happiness and that they feel engaged and developed. And within this, we've got a number of big projects coming out. So this is an example, a mock-up of the LXP, so our LXP user interface that will be launched very early next year. And Fika Hotels is one of our fake brands, by the way, so it's just one that we created to be able to demonstrate what we're doing. But these are two shots of what that looks like, so really modernizing it out. We're also delivering career mapping, so it'll be a really great way for people to understand what's coming in the future. and also optional and curated content. So this is about giving you the ability to load up videos, podcasts, PDFs, and other stuff from on the web. And we will also offer a service equally that we will be finding really interesting publicly sourced information and delivering it back to your team in what we're calling streams. So you can turn these on, turn them off, and so on. But some really interesting stuff coming. And all I'm trying to do at this point is whet your appetite, because I know that we don't have too much time. The next one is Easy Lease, F&B. So I think we all know the major players in your markets that do this. That again, the big differences here is that it's very focused on multi-site management. It's very focused on central production and has really great central production capability. And we also have some really fantastic waste measurement and analysis tools. So where are the times? So we're going to jump through this very quickly. Compliance, again, you will probably be using similar tools. What we really recognize there is that there's a key challenge when it comes to the trends around compliance and understanding more around fixing the issue at its source rather than just checking and monitoring sites. So that's where we're taking this tool next, is moving it from being about a single site and reporting at a group level or a single site level on audits and checklists, which is what you'd expect, to being much more focused around deriving value that can mean that you enable real business improvement ultimately. The facilities tool, again, we've got some really massive players using this tool, and there's not many other players available, options available in the market, but it ultimately allows you to deal with that preventative maintenance, ensuring that you're monitoring from a finance and an ops perspective external work requests, and really overcoming those issues of broken coffee machines or broken fryers to make sure that you keep as much uptime as possible, and that where there are challenges, that you can keep stocks in place and manage all of those stocks in the solution, and also have a very simple place to find all the contact details for who that you need to be contacting at a site level if things do go wrong. So a really powerful tool there again. The analytics platform we've talked a little bit about, and this is really, I mean, we've shown this to some players that were using our key competitor over the last 6 or 8 weeks as we come out of the next phase of development here, and people are bowled over just by the simplicity of the tool and how to get out of it what you need to get out of it. So very excited about that. Reputation, we are able to we've developed this in multiple languages, so it allows multi-language use. We, of course, aggregate millions of reviews, and the big focus here now is about delivering on the aggregators and delivery partners and bringing all of those in, as well as all your main Google, Facebook, TripAdvisor, and so on. And a really nifty part of this tool is that we have AI image recognition, so it can give you very clever information on what people are posting. So for instance, we can very easily see what are your most Instagrammable dishes. So that's really interesting when it comes to MPD and developing your new products. That's all from me. Very sorry for being 2 minutes over time. I tried to work through as swiftly as possible, but hopefully it gives you a sense of who we are, what we're doing, where we're going, that breadth of what's available, but ultimately reassurance that as a business, we really care about you as our customers, and that we really are focused on delivering innovation consistently that works for you. If you are a current customer, I would say absolutely liaise and link with your customer success consultant or manager. Let's make sure that we find the time to talk about what's important to you. If you're a prospect, if you're someone that's been talking to us before, let's find a time to chat and figure out if there's something we can help you with right now, or if it's not right now, when's the opportunity for us to talk about what would be your dream in terms of your technology stack. And that's the key here, is that we want to deliver on really driving home the best in class solutions. And that's only going to come through brilliant conversations with people like yourselves listening. If anyone's got any questions or comments, I'm flexible for another 5 minutes or so I'm happy to stick around, but very aware that I've probably taken more time than you expected. So feel free to drop off. But thank you so much for taking the time and attending. I'll be here for a couple more minutes. question from Bruce. Talked a lot about multi-site businesses. Do your solutions suit smaller operators? Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's fair to say that the reason we build for multi-site operators is because we recognize that if we build for them, it's very easy to do the other way. And I think that a lot of our tools, or in fact all of our tools, are used by single site operators right upwards. I think it's just in the way that we work and position our developments. If we enable it for multi-site, it will equally work for smaller operators. But very happy to have a conversation and talk about individual applications at any point, really, Bruce. Thank you. Well, I think that we'll call it a day there. But thank you so much for your time, everybody. Really appreciate you making the time. And if you want to get in touch, feel free to find me on LinkedIn. My email is jhaken@mapal-os.com. And otherwise, we'll chat soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.